Hey, it's good to see you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten a full night's sleep? Did everything right? And still woke up feeling like you just ran a marathon in your dreams? Or maybe you hit 2 p.m. and suddenly you're half human, half couch cushion. Yeah, you're not alone. A while back, I noticed this strange pattern. I talked to older friends, scroll through senior forums, watch comments on YouTube videos, and again, people were saying the same thing. I'm always tired. And I don't know why at first I thought maybe it was just part of aging. But then I started digging, and oh boy, it turns out there are a lot of reasons why so many seniors are constantly feeling drained. And here's the wild part. Most of them have nothing to do with getting old and everything to do with things nobody talks about. So today we're going to walk through 10 surprising, often overlooked reasons why you might be feeling like a zombie in comfy slippers. And I promise this won't be one of those just go to bed earlier lectures. Nah, this is real talk. This is stuff that hits home. You might laugh, you might nod along, and you'll probably say, wait, that's me. Stick around because we're going to figure this out together, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start waking up with a little more pep in your step and a little less fog in your brain. Let's get into it. Number 1, you're not drinking enough water. Yes, even when you think you are. I once had this older gentleman, let's call him Ron, look me dead in the eye and say, I drink plenty of water. I had a glass with my pills this morning. That was at 9 a.m. We were talking at 3:30 in the afternoon. I looked over and asked, and since then? He just shrugged and said, well, I had soup for lunch. Look, I get it. When we were younger, our bodies practically screamed when we needed water. Dry mouth thirst, that parched desert feeling in the back of your throat. But the older we get, the quieter that signal becomes. By the time your brain thinks to say, hey, maybe a little water. Your body's already been in survival mode for hours. Dehydration is subtle, but it zaps your energy like nobody's business. Your blood thickens just a little. Your heart has to pump a bit harder, and your brain. It starts sending weird messages like confusion, crankiness, or that heavy lid feeling that makes you nod off mid-sentence. I read this story on a forum where a woman said her mom kept falling asleep randomly during the day. They were convinced it was something serious. Early dementia. Maybe turns out she was just mildly dehydrated all the time. Once they encouraged her to sip water throughout the day, the difference was night and day. Literally, she was awake during the day again. Now here's the funny part. Seniors often avoid drinking water because they don't want to be running to the bathroom every 10 minutes. I hear you. No one wants to live in a state of bladder paranoia. But here's the deal. Hydration doesn't mean chugging a gallon at once. Like you're prepping for a marathon, it means steady sips throughout the day. Keep a glass of water nearby, like it's your sidekick. Add lemon mint, or even a splash of juice if you need to trick yourself into enjoying it. Fancy it up. Call it your spa tonic. Whatever works. Just sip the stuff, your body will thank you, and you might just stop falling asleep in your recliner at 2 p.m. 2. You're doing too much sitting around and calling it rest. Here's a paradox that trips up a lot of folks. You spend your day doing not much at all. Yet, you feel completely worn out. You sit in your favorite chair, maybe flip through the TV channels, scroll on your phone, or watch the birds out the window. Sounds relaxing, right? But by dinner time, you feel like you've run a marathon, and not in a triumphant way, more like someone dragged you behind a golf cart. This came up in a comment from a retired teacher who said, I sit most of the day, and yet I'm still completely drained by 5 p.m. How does that make sense? It makes total sense, actually, because stillness isn't the same as rest. Rest renews you. Stillness, when it goes on too long, starts to weigh you down. When you stop moving for long stretches, your circulation slows, your muscles get stiff and weak, and your joints feel like they've rusted overnight. Your body is basically going, oh, are we shutting down? Cool. I'll go into power-saving mode. And that's what fatigue is, your body adapting to inactivity by lowering your energy levels to match the less you move, the less your body wants to move. It's a vicious cycle wrapped in a very comfy blanket. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you have to become a gym rat or start doing CrossFit at 70. It just means your body craves gentle movement. One gentleman shared his trick every hour. On the hour he stands up and does TV commercial exercises, a few stretches, a couple of marches in place, maybe a dance move. If he's feeling spicy, he said it gave him more energy than coffee. The trick is to remind your body it still needed a short walk to the mailbox, some stretches, while brushing your teeth or even standing up while talking on the phone. These small movements keep the blood flowing and tell your brain, hey, we're still in the game. So next time you find yourself slumped in your chair thinking, why am I so tired? I didn't do anything today. Try doing something small, not to exhaust yourself, but to wake yourself up from the inside out. 3, you're carrying silent stress, and it's heavier than it looks now. This one hits close to home for a lot of folks, especially after retirement, after loss, or just as life gets quieter. Silent stress is the kind that doesn't always come with heart palpitations or panic attacks. It's not loud or obvious. It just sits there like a weight in your chest or a constant hum in the background. And the worst part, you might not even recognize it as stress. I remember a story from a woman in a senior health group who said, I'm retired, my kids are grown, I don't have anything to worry about, so why am I exhausted and tense all the time? Then she paused and admitted, I guess I'm always worrying about my health, about being alone, about money running out, about my memory fading. That's the thing. Silent stress is like carrying an invisible backpack full of bricks. You don't see it, but you feel it every step of the way. And the body doesn't care whether the stress is loud or silent. It reacts the same way it releases cortisol, messes with your sleep, tightens your muscles, dulls your mood, and drains your energy like someone left the lights on in your soul. But here's the hopeful part. You can lighten that invisible backpack. Sometimes just acknowledging it helps. Talk to someone, journal meditate, if you're into that. Or try what one clever woman shared online. I write down every worry I have at night, fold the paper, and say, that's tomorrow's problem. Then I drop it in a shoebox. She calls it her worry vault, and apparently she sleeps like a baby. Now, stress isn't always something you can eliminate, but you can give it less power. And when you do, you'll be surprised how much lighter and more energized you start to feel for your eating foods that secretly drain you. Let's be honest, some of the foods we think are comforting are actually working against us, the kind of big bowl of cereal before bed, toast with jelly, maybe a muffin with your morning coffee. Feels harmless, right? Feels familiar? But here's the kicker. A lot of those soft and easy foods are full of simple carbs and sugars that cause your energy to spike, then crash like a toddler. After a birthday party, one man shared how every morning he'd eat 2 slices of white toast with jam and a banana. An hour later, he was napping in his recliner with the TV still on. At first, he thought it was just old age kicking in, but then his doctor pointed out that breakfast was a sugar bomb. His blood sugar shot up, then plummeted, and his body crashed right with it. And don't even get me started on those low-fat snacks. Back in the 90s, we were told fat was the enemy, and many of us never fully recovered from that lie. But now we know that healthy fats, like avocado, olive oil, nuts, actually help stabilize your energy. Meanwhile, low-fat crackers and rice cakes just leave you feeling hollow and hungry again in 30 minutes. The sad part is a lot of folks choose these foods thinking they're doing the right thing. They're soft on the stomach, easy to prepare, and they feel safe. But safe doesn't always mean energizing. In fact, some of the most common meals among older adults are missing protein, fiber, and healthy fats, all of which your body needs to stay steady throughout the day. I read one comment that stuck with me. A woman said, I used to feel wiped out every afternoon until I added a hard-boiled egg and some almonds to my lunch. I thought it was too small to matter, but I swear I felt 10 years younger. Food is fuel, but the wrong kind of fuel will leave you sputtering. It's like putting soda in your gas tank. It fizzes for a second, then everything shuts down. So if you're eating but still exhausted, it might not be how much you're eating. It's what you're eating. 5, you're not getting deep sleep, just light dozing. Now this one's a heartbreaker because a lot of seniors swear they sleep fine. You go to bed, you stay in bed, and you wake up 8 hours later. But you feel like you've been hit by a truck sound familiar. That's because there's a big difference between sleep and deep sleep. You might be lying down for hours, but if you're tossing, turning, waking up to pee, or just floating in that shallow dream state, you're not really hitting the restorative stages your body desperately needs. One older guy in a sleep forum wrote, "I sleep with the TV on because I can't stand the silence." Well, that TV light is basically telling his brain, hey, stay alert, there's a show on. No wonder he was waking up tired. His brain thought it was on night shift. But even if your room is dark and quiet, things like anxiety, chronic pain, or even poor blood sugar control can keep your body from sinking in. The deep stages of sleep where your cells repair your brain detoxes and your energy gets restored. There's a woman I know who used to wake up 5 times a night. She chalked it up to age. Then someone told her to try a white noise machine and a magnesium supplement. It sounded too simple to work, but she tried it. And for the first time in years, she said she actually dreamed. She forgot what that even felt like. Sleep isn't just about how long you're in bed. It's about the quality of that time. Deep sleep is when your body presses the reset button without it. You wake up feeling like your phone battery is stuck at 15%, even after charging all night. If you've ever woken up more tired than when you went to bed, it's not you. It's probably your sleep depth. That's the issue. 6, you're not spending enough time outside. Seriously, this one's huge. This one is so underrated. It's almost criminal, and yet it's one of the most mentioned, most upvoted, and most passionately defended reasons why people feel better or worse. Day-to-day sunlight, fresh air, a breeze on your face, that's it. That's the miracle cure. Everyone forgets to mention, see, our bodies run on circadian rhythms. A fancy way of saying we have an internal clock that syncs up with the sun. But if you're spending all day indoors, under dim lighting or artificial bulbs, your brain gets confused. It doesn't know when to release melatonin. It doesn't know when to fire up your energy, and everything gets out of whack. One man commented, "I started sitting on my porch with a cup of coffee every morning for 15 minutes. Nothing fancy, just fresh air and daylight. Within a week, I was waking up easier and feeling more alive. And don't even get me started on vitamin D. Most people are wildly deficient, especially as they age, and it plays a huge role in energy, mood, immunity, even sleep. No wonder staying inside makes you feel like a sluggish houseplant. There's also something spiritual about being outdoors. You breathe deeper. You think more clearly. You notice the world again. Even just sitting in the sun watching squirrels be chaotic can shift something in you. It reminds your body and your soul that life's still happening and you're still a part of it. Now, I know not everyone can take long walks or garden for hours, but if you can make a little outdoor time part of your daily rhythm, just 10 to 15 minutes, it's like plugging your body back into nature's power source. No, Wi-Fi needed 7. You're running low on vital nutrients and don't even know it. Now, this one's sneaky because no one walks around thinking, boy, I bet I'm low on magnesium today, right? But the truth is, as we age, our bodies get less efficient at absorbing nutrients. That healthy meal you ate at 40 might not pack the same punch at 70. Even if your diet hasn't changed, your absorption might have, and that can mess with your energy in ways you'd never guess. I remember reading a comment from a gentleman who said he felt like he was walking through mud all day, every day. He blamed old age, of course, but his daughter dragged him to get blood work done, and turns out he was low in B12, vitamin D, and iron. Once he got those sorted out, with a supplement here and a dietary tweak there, he said he felt like someone turned the lights back on in his body. That's what these nutrients do. B12 helps with nerve function and red blood cell production. Kind of important for staying upright and alert. Vitamin D affects everything from mood to muscle strength. Magnesium helps your muscles relax, and iron literally helps deliver oxygen to your cells. Without enough of these, you're basically running on fumes and wondering why your engine keeps stalling. The tricky part, you can be low on all of them and not even know. The symptoms are vague, fatigue, foggus, weakness, which means most people just chalk it up to aging. But often, it's just a body whispering, "Hey, I'm out of fuel here." And listen, I'm not saying everyone needs a handful of pills, but if you've been feeling constantly worn out and you haven't had your levels checked in a while, it might be time to ask. Don't suffer in silence when a simple blood test might bring some answers and some serious relief. 8, you've lost your spark, and that saps more energy than you think. This one hits differently, because we're not talking about your body. Now we're talking about your spirit. A lot of folks reach a certain age and find themselves in this strange limbo. The kids are grown, the career's done, and suddenly there's no clear why pushing them out of bed in the morning. You go through the motions, eat clean, maybe watch a show, but inside, something feels flat. I once read a comment from a widower who said, "I don't feel sad." Exactly, I just don't feel much of anything, that quiet emptiness. It's more exhausting than a 12-hour shift because, here's the truth, energy isn't just physical, it's emotional when you have something to look forward to. Even if it's small, a hobby, a pet, a book, you're writing a weekly lunch with friends. It gives you energy, it lights something inside you. Without that spark, your brain and body operate in low power mode. You're still functioning. Sure, but you're not really alive. And that kind of tiredness is harder to shake because it's not coming from a lack of sleep. It's coming from a lack of meaning. But here's the uplifting part. The spark isn't gone forever. It just needs to be relit. Sometimes it's rediscovering music you used to love. Sometimes it's volunteering, learning something new, or just growing a tomato plant on your patio and checking it like it's your grandchild. One woman said, "I started painting again for the first time since the 80s. My hands are slower. My eyes aren't as sharp. But I feel like me again." That right there, that's your spark. And when you find it again, you'll be amazed how your energy follows. 9, you're over-medicated, or mixing meds that don't mix well. The bag of meds problem. This one is so common that some seniors joke they don't need breakfast. They just swallow a buffet of pills and call it a meal. But all jokes aside, this one's serious. As we age, we collect medications like souvenirs. One for blood pressure, one for cholesterol, one for sleep, one for the side effects of the first 3. Before you know it, you've got a small pharmacy in your cabinet. And each one has its own side effects. Multiply that by 5. And it's no wonder you're tired all the time. One guy on a forum wrote, "I didn't know I was taking 2 meds that basically canceled each other out. One made me sleepy, the other wired me up. I spent months feeling like I was hungover without the fun night beforehand." What's worse is that many meds interact in subtle ways your doctor might not catch unless you really go over them together. One can mess with your sodium. Another might block B12 absorption. Some lower blood pressure a bit too well, leaving you dizzy and drained. I knew someone who went through a full medication review with a pharmacist, not a doctor, but a pharmacist, and found out 2 of her meds were working against each other. Once they adjusted her doses and dropped an unnecessary one, she said, "I felt like my old self again. I didn't even realize how foggy I'd been until the fog lifted." So, if you're tired and you're on a bunch of medications, don't just accept it as normal. Ask your doctor for a full medication review, or, better yet, bring a pharmacist into the loop. They live and breathe this stuff, and they can often spot problems that others miss. Energy isn't just about adding things in, it's also about removing the stuff that's weighing you down. 10. You might just need more joy. Yes, really. Okay. I know this sounds a little soft, maybe even a little cheesy. But hang with me because I've seen it too many times. To ignore joy is an energy source all on its own. And when it's missing, you feel it in your bones. One Reddit user put it perfectly. "I feel like I'm surviving, but not living that." Right there. That's a soul begging for joy. And when your life becomes all routine, doctor appointments, pill schedules, TV reruns, chores, it slowly drains your color away, but inject just a little joy, and it's like watering a plant that looked half dead, but suddenly perks up like, "Hey, I'm not done yet." Joy doesn't have to be a vacation to Paris or a major life change. It can be silly. It can be weird. One lady I came across started learning TikTok dances with her grandkids. Another gentleman started writing poetry. Bad poetry, he said. But it made him laugh. Someone else adopted an older cat and said, "We nap at the same time, it's perfect." Joy gives you something worth having energy for, and the crazy thing, even when you don't have it, to begin with doing joyful things, gives it back to you. It's not a reward, it's a fuel source. If you felt run down, washed out, emotionally flat, it might not be your body. It might be your spirit whispering, "Can we please do something fun again?" So go ahead. Say yes to the little thing that makes no sense but brings you a spark laugh more. Be a little ridiculous, dance in your kitchen, paint a rock, try karaoke, eat dessert. First, whatever joy looks like for you, invite more of it in, because joy isn't just about feeling good, it's about feeling alive. And when you feel alive again, the tiredness starts to melt away. So feeling seen, yet I know we just covered a lot. Nutrient gaps, shallow sleep, emotional burnout, surprise, sugar, crashes, medication, overload, and yes, even the joy shortage nobody warns you about. But here's the good news. None of this is a life sentence. Most of the things that are quietly draining your energy, they're fixable. Not with magic pills or 5 a.m. boot camps, but with small, thoughtful changes, a bit more sunlight, a better breakfast, saying yes to something fun. Again, asking your doctor the right questions, instead of just going with the flow. The truth is, being tired all the time doesn't have to be your new normal. You deserve better than that. You deserve to wake up feeling alive, not just functioning.